Hello, a couple of things I forgot to mention with regard to registration that I want to do now, and then I'm going to show you how to do the housing and the hotel rooms. So when you come in to figure out who's in which category and all of that, I want to just show you that there are some students that have two different categories. This could be voting delegate, it could be LDA, it could be students that are going to run for a state office. So that's what the event number means. T-shirt size, again, S is for student, A is for advisor, and make sure that that's accurate so that they get the right color and the right sizing. Now, when you click on here and go to select events for each student, I've already started this process. It does give you an opportunity to double check the T-shirt size, the type of student, any special needs and so forth if you needed to do that. And I just wanted to quickly show you that there is a voting delegate option here. So I'm going to go ahead and make this young lady a voting delegate, and I'm told that her T-shirt should be a size small, so shame on me. Let me fix that. And when I go to the end, I can just click save and it will scroll to the next student on my list. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward stuff. At the bottom here, as you know, you can take a look at the events to review them, and it will put them in alphabetical order by category. And for team events, it'll assign which team number they were, so you have that as a system of checks and balances. And then when you want to view the registration, it will give you some options. So for the student registration invoice, it's going to tell you straight out how many students that you have, how much they're charging per student, what your final balance is, as well as your totals. And when you put some advisors and chaperones in, you'll have that opportunity here. So currently I only have one advisor in, so that's all you're going to see on there, but it's pretty straightforward stuff. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is just remind you how to add a non-student. So if I want to add myself in as a adult chaperone, I can do that. Remember, the asterisk fields are required. You can choose adult chaperone. Make sure that you do an adult T-shirt size. Complete the gender, the email. Make sure the phone number is accurate, so if we need to get in touch with you, we actually have the correct phone numbers. If there's any dietary restrictions, has to be on a certain floor, whatever the special needs are, please indicate that to us here in the registration, and then click Save. When I come back out and I want to look at that advisor invoice now, you'll see that I'm on there 2 different times, and it wants me to say, am I going to be on the student invoice, the advisor invoice, or whatever. Okay. And then once you've said where to put me, I got to remember to delete me out of here. I promise I will. I can click Save at the bottom. You want to click Save early and often, especially when you're interrupted. When I look at the advisor, you can see that I'm a chaperone and a chaperone special. I'll be honest, I'm not sure what a chaperone special is. I'll ask Donna and confirm that with you guys later on, but there you go. Okay, so that's the registration in a nutshell. If you have questions, obviously, please let me know. But I feel like having done this for districts already, you guys should be in good shape. Next order of business is your housing. So I'm going to go to the bottom here and view my housing options. It tells you some instructions at the top. You need to make sure that you submit the hotel reservation once you complete everything to finish up the actual reservation, but the directions are pretty straightforward. So if I have room number 1 for, a student quad, I can come in and say, okay, the first room that I have is a quad, and I'm going to have, these, well, let me mess this up on purpose for a quick second. So I'm going to have 3 males, and let me throw a female in there just to show you what's going to happen. At the bottom of the list, you're going to go ahead and click Add to Room, which is a little bit hidden, so it's right there, okay? And as you add people into your room, it's going to give you the room number, what type of room it is that you're purchasing, who the students are that are in there, as well as the charges for that room and the balance that's due. Now, it won't give you a hard time with the mixture of males and females until you go to submit. Then it will yell at you and say, wait a minute, there's a female and a male in a student room, that's not an option, something similar to that. But you can come in and click remove, and it will put that student back on your list to go ahead and add into an additional room, and you can go from there. If I wanted to do an adult double room, I'll come in and say that this is my second room, and then I can go ahead and find the student or the adult that's going to be in that room, click add to room. It'll take a quick second to update your list, and then when you come down on the bottom, it'll have him in a room and how much it's going to cost for the 2 nights and so forth. Okay, now when you come in, please notice NGS means no gender selected. I would need to go into there and fix that so that the system of checks and balances with male and female would actually work for the student. Okay, pretty sure you have to put the gender for the student, so it should be a non-issue. It will only be an issue with advisors and chaperones. Now, when you're done with this process and you're scrolling through, it's going to whittle down how many different people are here on your list. Okay, and once you have everyone booked, you'll have a more substantial list for your registration, and you can go from there. Now, maybe you want to do this in baby steps. You can go back to your registration list without submitting and make some changes as required. But at any rate, when you're doing this, please save as you go so that you don't lose any progress if the computer disconnects or it didn't save what you did. It's really annoying. The save and finish later button is key. When I come back to housing, it'll have the list of all the students there, and you can add from another chapter, which is what I wanted to show you. So if you have students from other chapters that are going to be sharing with you, when you guys either do it for students or advisors, you're going to click on this. You're going to choose the school that you're going to do sharesies with. They have to have a room already in, or they have to have a registration started in order for you to be able to select them. So make sure that that's true before you start the process. But again, it's very straightforward. You just answer the question, you put them in the room that they're required to be in. And if you don't see them in there, you need to reach out to that advisor and say, hey, the student that you're asking me about isn't on the list. Can you please make sure you put them into the registration? Okay, so once you're done with all of that and you're ready to go ahead and submit everything, obviously you want to double check everything before you do that. I know that there's a grace period for how long it takes before you won't get any refunds. Please pay attention to what was sent out to you guys in the initial email. I don't have that committed to memory. But the last thing that I just want to quickly go over with you guys is the rules and regulations with regard to what you're agreeing to as an advisor. So take a quick look at those, read them through. Baked goods are a huge no-no. They're not allowed. The conduct code has to have been reviewed. I'm assuming that was included in your state packet. So, every year we have issues with students that break the rules and so forth. Make sure you make yourself familiar with how those rules work. You're going to click I agree to those above statements and then click finish the registration. It will send everything over to Harry, and then you can at any point in time print out your actual registration form, give it to your business office so you can get your check and all of that stuff. If you have any questions, please let me know. And remember to register all of your chaperones, even if they're TBDs, so that we have accurate numbers. I know the hotel's going to be really busy that weekend. And also make sure that you are indicating for your LDAs, your leadership academies for those written events, as well as putting into the system who your voting delegates are so that we have some list of accuracy. Okay, thank you so much. Bye-bye.